of recognition of it's not just a fluke that occasionally you can get diverse women into parliament, but they're really fucking good at doing politics, right? And Maureen and I often joke about the fact that no one thinks that a woman of colour can do the numbers, or no one thinks that a woman of colour can negotiate amendments, because that's like politics and we wouldn't know how to do that. And so it's like, it's really great because you get underestimated and then you get to get some good stuff done, right? So I think that for me, probably that was a really important, significant moment in the history of the party that happened after the election. Before the election and the election result for me was the fact that we saw Lydia Thorpe and Dorinda Cox as First Nations women elected to our Senate team and had 2 First Nations women in our party room, and that to me was a strength. And so if I reflect on that in terms of the diversity, that's great. The other thing, and I think this is the forum where it's good to also reflect on the not so good bits, is I had a bit of a panic for a minute there because we were going to win more lower house seats, and I'm really loving that because I love the Greens winning lower house seats. But I had this moment of kind of going, shit, are we just going to have all these white men in the lower house representing the Greens? And my God, we never thought we'd win all these lower house seats, and we don't even have a plan yet for how we deal with quotas in the lower house because we didn't expect that. And so for me, I kind of was like, and in the end, it's amazing in terms of different types of diversity of those candidates, but they are all white. And it's almost like that election result happened better than we had the plan in place to work out what we were doing about it. And so I think for me, it's like, if we're going to be really honest about that, that's a real job that I feel like we as a party have to now look at, because that's a whole challenge around the principles of rank and file, grassroots pre-selections versus other things. So I think from the bigger picture perspective, and I think I would have to say that I have been the most excited and impressed in anything, because representation matters, of watching Penny Wong in Malaysia sit down and eat in a restaurant. I'm going to get crying about it, which is weird because I know Penny Wong fucking hates the Greens most of the time. My bag her out as well. But you know what I mean? To have Penny Wong sit down in a cafe that I have sat with my dad's family members, not that exact one, but very fucking similar, and eat the kind of food that you see, and that be the story of someone going to another country after we've had so much Asian hate over the last couple of years, was powerful. And I appreciate that representation and identity politics from a visual perspective isn't the only thing that counts. But it does actually count to not just see more white men going to Southeast Asia and Asia representing our country, and it's important that we acknowledge that.